Hi guys, and welcome to the Awakening Energy. I'm Skeed. In today's video, I'm not actually just going to do an energy transmission and talk. In today's video, I'm actually going to teach you how to start to cultivate this energy for yourself. With this said, if you want to do this, there is a path where you can do this by yourself, grow your energy so it becomes very, very, very strong. You might find you can even start transmitting this to other people. If you get to that stage, first watch all my previous videos for little tips and things, but also seek out courses and trainings to teach you how to give this energy safely, securely, etc. I am developing a course which I hope to be out in the next couple of months to help you to do this. However, for now, we're just going to talk about how to cultivate this. If you don't go and have initiations from other people, from gurus, from masters, from facilitators, it might take a very, very, very long time to cultivate this by yourself. So the more you can practice with people with more energy than yourself, the faster you can do this. It's a bit like if you're going to learn a new skill, that you pick up a tennis racket and you just start hitting it. You will eventually learn how to play tennis if you know the rules. But by getting a coach or a trainer, you're going to learn much faster. It's slightly more than that because we're talking about energies. So it's about receiving higher levels of energy to be able to feel them tuning in, becoming more in tune with the subtle energies. But it is, as I said, it is possible to cultivate it purely by yourself. If you wish to do it purely by yourself, it will take dedication and time to be able to do this. So just understand this. But so how do we start to connect to the energy? Well, we have energy within ourselves and then we can draw energy from out of us. So this first exercise is just teaching us how to move the energy within ourselves. We have our hands. Yes, if you've ever seen or heard about the exercise of the chi ball, that's what this is. So put your hands in front of you. You can just be very close together. It might be slightly further away. The closer you get, the easier it is to feel. So just feel, or just imagine, from the points of our hands, like an elastic band connected into our hands, and we're just pulling it in and out. Perhaps mini elastic bands on our fingers are the same thing. A bit like that cat's cradle game we used to play as a kid. Just starting with imagination, just start to feel a force there. After a while, you start to become attuned to this energy. You won't have to imagine anything, you'll actually start to feel. There is a sort of magnetic force between your hands. And so we can start playing with this energy and get it flowing between our hands. And then, if you practice this exercise, obviously the more you practice it, if you practice it 5 hours a day, you're going to get there much faster. But if we just practice, let's be real, how many people are going to go and practice this for 4 or 5 hours a day every single day? But if you just practice this for 5-10 minutes, and any dead time you have, you're sitting on the toilet, when you're standing in a queue, whatever, just get into the practice of this. It doesn't have to be up here, it can be down by your waist. So you can be standing in a queue and just sort of practicing this. No one has to really know what you're doing. Just gently moving around. getting a feel for the energy with your intention. Okay, I want to increase the power. With your intention, you will notice the intention increases. So at this stage, we're just connecting with the energy through our bodies. Just feel it. And if you wish, you can imagine like a string coming out the crown of our head. That string is actually an energy. So we can imagine it, and we have to imagine until we actually feel it. But there will come a point you'll actually feel it. It comes down. It comes down through your head. We can direct it at this stage down our arms. Push it more into our hands. This is the basics of Reiki. Yes, Reiki, as we know, Reiki today has symbols and things, but you don't actually really need them. You say, yes, but you don't do Reiki, you do Shaktipat. Oh yeah, but you got to start somewhere. It's an energy flow. And so you can put it down, put it into your hands. Once you've got a ball, place it towards you. If your body feels there's this slight tingling, cooling, warm, be different for people, you'll notice that energy. Come back, build it again. Do it again. Over time, hours of practice or minutes of practice turns into hours, hours into days, days into weeks, weeks into months. And as you do, it'll grow and grow and grow. This is the basics of moving the energy. Now, of course, if you watch my videos regularly, I'm giving you energy transmissions. If you connect to my energy and do this, so instead of it just being a passive exercise where you receive the energy, if you turn them into active exercises, you can turn the volume down of the other videos and just concentrate on connecting. And as you connect to my energy, you'll find this energy flow can become much stronger very quickly. This is just as I said, a beginner's video in how to move energy. I am, as I said, developing courses where we'll be able to go much deeper, how to connect the whole system, how to move it in a form of Reiki, how to form it in a pranic form, Shakti, Shiva. It'll all be in the course. And grow energies, how we can build the energy to move it up, to move it down, to be able to control the energy. That is all coming. Just please be patient, that is coming. But for those who wish to play with the energy and start feeling the flow, everybody can do this. It's not, you don't have to be a guru to do this. Everybody can feel this energy. It just takes some people longer than others, that's fine, to become attuned to the subtleness of the energy. It's a bit like learning to draw. So, first of all, you might start with a really big paintbrush. Who can't take a paintbrush and paint a wall? We can all do that. But then, if we go from a bigger paintbrush to a smaller paintbrush to a smaller paintbrush, we can eventually come down to a very thin paintbrush, or possibly even a pencil. And we can draw very, very detailed things. Now, I know they don't teach drawing in this way, unless perhaps you're looking at airbrushing. Airbrushing, they do teach in this way. It's interesting. Because the more you can refine the movement of your fingers, the more control you have. Of course, with energy, we're not talking about the movement of your fingers. We're talking about the sensations we have of energy in our system. So it's just a metaphor, it's an analogy to help you understand how it works. So I hope this has helped. Go practice this. Building your energy balls, they can become very, very, very powerful. You can even try expanding them, adding energy, compressing them, adding more energy, expanding them, adding more energy, compressing them, and it becomes this very dense like ball, which we can then, as I said, just let it flow up over ourselves, or you can just release it out into the room around you. And that can help the atmosphere and the energy of the room. Okay, I hope this has helped, and hope you go practice this. Leave a comment. Were you successful? Did it not work? Can you feel the energies? Does it help when you connect to my other videos? Just let me know, see what happens. And in time, as I develop these courses, hopefully you'll be interested to take this further. Namaste.